but you didn't really show it that much, so of course I didn't actually know. It was a bit of a heartbreak at first, but I'm fine now.
Even though truly saying she's okay.
Oh, how tragic. This whole thing feels like it's straight out of a script, so rehearsed, so forced. It's like she's delivering his school presentation, not just having a casual conversation. And the worst part? Making kids process serious life stuff in front of a camera for everyone to watch. Honestly, it's just messed up. They're kids, they didn't sign up for this. Then, of course, there's the classic, but I'm making ramen, so I gotta go moment. Smooth transition, right? You know they had this whole thing planned. She asked if it was okay to talk about this on camera, and of course, the answer was yes. It was all cleared ahead of time, but still, can we talk about how clearly coached this was? TLC should just give the entire Brown family some acting lessons because, let's be real, they're not convincing anyone. We've got so much to dive into today, so let's not waste any time. Let's jump straight into it. Hey everyone, what's up? It's Elena here, and welcome back to my channel Reality Nexus X. Oh wow, I'm officially off the fence about Robyn. No more dithering on whether she's the real bad guy or not. For a long time, I'd honestly thought maybe she wasn't so manipulative at first, that maybe things just got worse over time, or she really just was late to the game and didn't realize how deep the whole family dynamic was. But after watching this show for years, and especially after the latest episodes, it's crystal clear now. Robyn is not here for the plural family. She's here for Kody and the fame, and, let's be real, the paycheck that comes with the show. Take this season as a prime example. We learned that Robyn, right from the start, was fully aware Kody wasn't in love with his other wives. Kody admitted it, in front of everyone, no less, that it was part of their covenant to make sure she didn't waste away in a loveless marriage. Which is funny, because he's been preaching the opposite this whole time. Anyone can leave. I won't break up with them, but they can leave, yet now he's suddenly acting like he has to break things off if the love isn't there? Oh, but wait, he'd happily fake it for anyone else. Those poor wives, but not Robyn, she's the exception. Apparently, if Kody's not feeling it, he's gotta end it. And don't get me started on that fourth wedding ring. A whole new one, picked out possibly by Robyn. Kody had no answer when asked about it, only mumbling some lame excuse about how it looked nice. Yeah, totally a safe answer. Kody's brain was clearly working overtime, trying to come up with something believable. I'm now convinced Robyn's been clinging to Mary from day one, desperately trying to keep her around as a cover for the fact that Kody's already checked out of his first marriage, and maybe, just maybe, symbolically began the process of dissolving it with that new ring. Now, let's talk about Robyn's classic friend behavior. You know that one friend in every group, the one who never reaches out first, shows up late, posts vague status updates like, "My family really needs some prayers." But when you ask her what's wrong, she says, "Call me." Then passive-aggressively posts about knowing who her real friends are. That friend who always forgets their wallet and promises to pay you back, but never does. Yeah, Robyn is that friend. But imagine sharing a husband with her. It's like being stuck with the ultimate drama queen. And looking back at the early seasons, I just can't believe I didn't see it before. Her comments about Kody loving his wives, despite their stretch marks and wrinkles, how she left her bills for the other wives to pay, her mediating the relationships. It's honestly diabolical. These people are con artists without a moral compass between them. It's not just manipulation, it's a whole long game, and Robyn has definitely won. Now I have to go back and rewatch it all again. This time without the rose-colored glasses I apparently had on all these years. Because Robyn, she's been playing everyone, and we've all been watching it unfold. I'm done. I'm officially off the fence about Robyn. For the longest time, I was stuck in that gray area, wondering, is Robyn really the villain here? Or am I just seeing things? I thought maybe she wasn't so manipulative at first, or that she just walked into a family dynamic that was already too set in stone, too awkward for her to handle. But after rewatching the series multiple times, yes, I've had that much free time, it's finally hit me like a ton of bricks. Robyn's not here for the plural family. She's here for Kody, and the TV ratings that help fund her cushy life with him. Let's talk about this season's big reveal. Robyn knew Kody didn't love his wives from the start. She absolutely knew. When Kody had his little breakdown about how his and Robyn's covenant was all about never letting her be in a loveless marriage, it was a slap in the face. All these years he's been saying, anyone can leave. I won't break up with them, but they can leave, while secretly telling Robyn he'd fake it for the others if they needed him to. Empty words, backed up by nothing but neglect. But guess what? Robyn gets a whole different treatment. Apparently, when Kody falls out of love, it's his job to call it quits. How precious. And let's not overlook the fact that Kody's on his 4th wedding ring. 4th. The second one, by the way, might have been picked out by Robyn, and Kody, ever the smooth talker, couldn't even offer a decent explanation for where it came from. I thought it looked nice. Really? That's the best you've got? Here's where it gets even juicier. Robyn's been clinging to Mary for dear life, as if to say, please don't leave. And I don't think it's just for ratings, though I'm sure that's part of it. I think it's a cover for Kody symbolically dissolving the first marriage, right from the start, with the symbolic gesture of a new wedding ring, and the emotional unraveling of the first wife. Robyn's been using Mary from day one, no doubt about it. And if you've ever been on the receiving end of a married man's attention, and yes, I have a very brief history of making questionable decisions in my youth, you remember whether he's still wearing that ring. Thanks to the eagle-eyed Redditors for catching that. Also, Robyn's reaction to Kody's ring, way too fast. Like she knew exactly what she was talking about, way too fast. And if Kody stopped wearing the claddagh ring so long ago, while still pretending to keep the family together, mind you, I honestly believe he was done with the plural family as soon as Robyn came into the picture. Sure, he found his soulmate, and I'm all for people finding their happily ever afters, but let's be real, he's stuck with the plural family for the image and the cash. And let's give Robyn her props, she played the long game and she won. Now, I have to go back and do a rewatch, because clearly, I've been wearing some serious rose-colored glasses all these years. Everyone else saw it coming, but I was too busy rooting for the underdog. Turns out, Robyn's that friend we all have. You know the one. They never reach out first, they're always late, and they post vague statuses on social media like, my family could really use some prayers. And when someone dares to ask, what's going on? They respond with, call me. Then 2 days later, they post passive-aggressively about knowing who their real friends are. Classic. And let's not forget the birthday drama. They'll never wish you a happy birthday on time, but when you forget theirs, suddenly they're sulking about it like you've personally wronged them. After 2 margaritas, they're sobbing, asking why you're such a bitch to them. When really, the only thing you've done is warn them that they were about to faceplant into the nachos. That's Robyn. Now imagine sharing a husband with her. Yikes. Looking back at the early seasons with the melted ring and those so-called sacred vows, it's all starting to make sense. Her comments about Kody loving his wives with stretch marks and wrinkles, total manipulation, and the bills she left for the other wives to pay. The way she mediated relationships with a smile. Diabolical. These people are the con artists of the century, with absolutely zero morals. If my child tried to extort me into paying for a honeymoon, well, let's just say it would get ugly. Mykelti, the brat that she is, had the nerve to ask for that kind of help. But here's the kicker. Kody and the moms didn't shell out a single dime for her wedding. Sure, they grumbled and moaned about not being able to afford 2 weddings in 1 year, but did they do anything? Nope. Not a damn thing. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not a fan of Mykelti. but I'll always defend her when it comes to the wedding drama. She was raised in that BS purity culture and then gets blamed for wanting to get married young and fast. Ridiculous, right? She got zero support when she told her parents, while Maddie was met with cheers and applause. Oh, but she's marrying someone almost a decade older, someone she's known since she was a kid. Super normal, note the sarcasm. Honestly, they shouldn't have had a bunch of kids back to back, and then act shocked when those same kids want to get married around the same time. Like, come on, Kody, you made your bed, now lie in it. And while I know some people will fight me on this, I always thought there was something a little racially off about how Tony was treated. You can argue all you want, but the AUB is straight up racist, that's a fact. Kody was part of that mess too. Remember when Mykelti decided to skip out on family church because it felt disrespectful to film it? Kody was so proud of her for standing up and telling the kids they needed to sell it to him if they had an issue. Why? Because, as he likes to remind us, he was once a mediocre salesman. Oh, and Kody loved Mykelti's deal-making skills because they reminded him of himself. Because of course he did. Robyn claims she can speak Kody, which, in reality, means she listens to the endless word vomit that spews out of his mouth, filters out all the nonsense, and then translates it into whatever she wants him to say. And of course, once she repeats it back to him, he's all, yeah, that's exactly what I meant. It's honestly pathetic. Kody has become such a shell of himself, terrified of disappointing Robyn or even slightly offending her. He's constantly on edge, trying to figure out how to make her happy and keep her thinking he's the guy she wants. The dude is completely whipped. No wonder the other wives have said they don't even recognize him anymore. No wonder C and J had that conversation at Salsa Brava, where they were like, yeah, he's become a total stranger to us, not even someone we're attracted to anymore. It's painfully obvious when you watch him talk to Mary, and Robyn basically tells him to shut up until he gets his head on straight, meaning, until you say what I want you to say. She doesn't speak Kody. She manipulates him. She controls him and the entire situation by pretending she can communicate for him, and he's just too far gone to even notice. He loves having someone in his corner, someone who will say what he's too scared to say. But when he's too lazy to deal with something, he just lets her handle it. After years of let me talk to the wives, I'll explain it in a way they'll understand, he's become a doormat. And honestly, the level of manipulation here is gross. Robyn doesn't need a job because controlling a grown man and convincing him you're a sweet, submissive wife is basically a full-time gig. The thing is, Robyn probably knows how to play Kody better than the others. She seems like she's not that into him, and honestly, I don't think she is. She probably sees him as a cash cow who takes care of everything, so she doesn't have to work or even really deal with the kids, since the nannies are handling all of that. She pretends to listen to him, but it's clear she doesn't really care. This whole ring story just demolished everything we thought we knew about this show. Honestly, it feels like Game of Thrones all over again. Like, I just wasted years of my life. Okay, that's dramatic, and in real life, I'm fine. But honestly, we all get invested in these shows for a little escape, right? We watch. We join discussions. We dive into recaps just to find like-minded people and hear different opinions. For me, I dropped out halfway through and only came back when Christine finally kicked Kody to the curb. I found out about that on TikTok, so you know, totally not a huge life-altering moment. But since then, I've been back into it, enjoying the wild ride of dissecting this family's every move. So here's the thing, the ring drama. Yeah, it happened before they even started filming. And looking back, knowing that little tidbit, it's a game changer. Everything suddenly looks different. Like for me, the big revelation is the catfishing situation. I always thought Mary looked ridiculous during all that drama, but now I actually feel really bad for her. I wish it had been a real person on the other side of that. But also, can we just take a moment to talk about religious trauma? Mary stuck around for so long because of her faith. I honestly believe that's why she stayed. Even though it cost her years minus 14 years, she could have spent healing instead of staying in a situation that clearly wasn't working. That's how I feel too. All this time, just wasted. Quick, someone grab a dragon and let's torch Coyote Pass. And seriously, do you remember how all the wives used to call each other lover in the first season? Or how flirtatious they get? All that, and we now know it's after the ring was melted down. What a joke. Christine told that story like it was just another Wednesday. Like she didn't think for 1 second that it would be a massive bombshell that would change how viewers see the entire family. Makes you wonder what else they've been keeping under wraps, huh? Kody's decision to melt down. That ring explains why Mary was so torn about IVF. It's no surprise she was indecisive. She probably knew deep down that if she went through with it, she'd end up a single mom at best. And honestly, I wouldn't be shocked if, off camera, Kody was like, "Mary, I'll let you stay, but only if you agree to file the legal divorce." That whole nothing's changing thing? Yeah, that's exactly where all that crap came from. Okay, so I know this has probably been talked to death, but I'm rewatching and joining the sub, so bear with me. Am I the only one who finds it super weird how fast Robyn's kids started calling Kody dad? I mean, even the other kids just call their non-bio moms by their names. But Robyn's kids are all dad like 5 seconds after meeting him. It's almost like they had a script to follow or something. And don't even get me started on how Robyn talks about raising their teenagers when, hello, she just walked in the door like last week and never even lived with them properly. I would have been livid. Like, how do you raise teenagers by just showing up every now and then? That's like saying you're the captain of a team, but you've never actually played a game. Then there's that one scene where Aurora slips up and calls Kody Kody, and Robyn, of course, jumps in with the classic, "No, it's dad," like, okay, but slow down. These kids hadn't even started to blend the family, and here she is insisting on the full-on daddy role. Like, sure, Robyn, it's totally appropriate for kids who have a biological father. They still see to call this new guy dad after what, 15 minutes? Red flags everywhere when she's pushing for that level of integration that quickly. Honestly, Robyn seems to have inserted herself into Kody's family before he even had one. She talks like she was always there, but let's not forget, her biggest experience with his kids was basically being a weekend stepmom before they moved to Flagstaff, where I'm sure she saw them. Oh, maybe once every few months. So yeah, the whole thing feels like a lot of manipulation masked as family bonding. Everyone else has been free to be their obnoxious selves without a second thought, except Mary, of course. Christine spent years lying through her teeth, pretending plural marriage was some fairy tale, all while openly admitting how incredibly jealous she was. Then there's Janelle, who's been passive-aggressive to the max, and couldn't be bothered to understand Mary's perspective, or make an effort to fix things, until, surprise, she suddenly needed Mary to join her in therapy. And even then, she couldn't stop whining about how much she dreaded it. Kody, don't even get me started. He really thought it was his right to say whatever he wanted about Mary without any consequences. But the second Mary stands up for herself or speaks her mind, suddenly everyone's against her. Now Christine and Janelle are thriving, all while riding the coattails of Mary's hard-earned grace and willingness to accept a new sister wife into her marriage. If it hadn't been for Mary's generosity in allowing that to happen, they could have gone off and found another plural family to join. But hey, it's easier to pretend she's the villain, right? They should be ashamed of themselves for not even wanting to try with her anymore. Mary's always been the scapegoat. She's the only one who's consistently been in the spotlight, and let's be honest, if we only watched Christine and Janelle, the show would have been boring. They avoided conflict like it was a plague. Mary wasn't out here looking for drama. She just had the guts to face issues head-on instead of brushing them under the rug. and for that, she was vilified. Now, after barely making any effort to work on things, they've cut Mary off over hurt feelings. Sure, they have every right to remove whoever they want from their lives, but the fact that they're still holding on to things Mary has already moved on from says more about them than it does about her. And let's face it, those issues weren't even as deep as they're pretending, probably because anything less than total submission seems abusive to them. Oh, Kody is definitely seething over the fact that Variety named Christine the most powerful woman of reality TV. Can you just imagine how that's burrowing deep into his brain? I mean, the thought of someone else, especially Christine, getting that kind of recognition, it's probably driving him up the wall. It's like the cherry on top of a very bitter cake, right? I can already picture the scene though. It would have been pure gold if TLC had filmed that one-on-one after the list came out. The look on his face, comedy gold. And don't even get me started on Robyn. Oh, she's losing it. I'm sure she's quietly, or maybe not so quietly, freaking out, throwing tantrums in her head, muttering thanks, Christine, through clenched teeth. I bet she's having a full-on meltdown. Imagine her sitting there, not getting the attention she thinks she deserves, and then Christine gets all the glory. I mean, it's almost too good to be true. If TLC really wanted to make our day, they'd show us Robyn's reaction when she hears the news. Picture it. Why? This is so unfair. Kody, make me powerful. I want my face on magazines. Why aren't they interviewing me? Cue the sobs, the dramatic hand-wringing, and, just for flair, precious moments figurines flying across the room in the background. Honestly, I'm loving every minute of it. I'm so excited to see how this all plays out. Kody's reaction, Robyn's meltdown, it's just too delicious. Let me know what you think in the comments. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you in the next video. Take care and much love to you all.